think we're live. I hope we're live. Jim, looks like Jim might be having some issues. Think we got video, got audio. Anybody let me know if you're having trouble here. I came up on my channel. I always do a test. Had a couple issues trying to get up and running. Finally did. Came up here, and I think we're okay. But everybody, I hope everybody's doing good on a Wednesday afternoon. Spring is here. Still a little cool in my shop. I'm going to try to keep it cool in here. Usually it's until like May, somewhere around maybe early June into May, somewhere in there. So hope everybody's doing all right. It looks like Jim, I'm not sure if that's here between us or on your end. I'm sorry. I hope you get that worked out. Tim Wagster, Arkansas is in the shop today. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hoping we're going to have a good live today. Just got back from Sheridan. The Rocky Mountain Leather Trade Show was last weekend up in Sheridan. What a whirlwind. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we may just go a little easier. I'm in my shop hoodie, my Weaver shop hoodie today, so let's just go a little more informal today. Got some good stuff to talk about. Got a giveaway. One of my all-time favorites on the giveaway. But I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody had a good Mother's Day, particularly all of our mothers. Hope it was a good day. Hope you got some good gifts in there. I didn't do a leather project. I did picked up my folks, brought them back over to the house. We had got some burgers on the grill, just had some of that good time to just sit and visit, which again seems to be so hard lately. And the show was one of those times. Y'all, thanks everybody. I'm sorry everybody. We didn't get a lot of time to chat and to visit. Those things are such a whirlwind. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. Jerry, Maz, y'all, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see your name pop up. And Jim, hope that's coming together. Tim, Colleen, hope all is good with you as well. So everybody, let's see. David, Big Dave says, hey y'all, right back to you. I know I'm still tired. Does anybody sleep well in hotels? Not bad, but at hotel onto the busy schedule, onto being 2 hours behind. Like we were mountain time out there, and it was just messed me up because the body is saying it's bedtime. The clock is saying it's 8 o'clock in the evening, right? So anyway, still trying to catch up, and our AC is down. Oh man, it's a little hot in our house, but working on trying to get that fixed up. Hard not to have AC in Georgia in the summer. Yeah, so we're hoping to get that back up. But Christopher Barnes, thanks for asking, Sheridan. Great show. And we'll taught some classes, and with the classes, I stress over these so bad. You know what? My worst fear is getting into the middle of the class, 2,000 miles from home. I forgot something. Oh, he's big trouble for Moose and Scaville, right? Yep. Do you remember, right? The Badenoffs. Oh, anyway, it went great. There's no reason to stress because I hope it's going to be a good class. I hope everything goes as planned. And then I get in, I get the class set up, and then leather crafters start walking in. And everybody's happy. They're happy to be there. They're eager to learn, to sit and talk and spend. I don't know why I stress. I don't know why I stress. I wouldn't say sleepless nights over that, but still, it's very stressful. But the minute the class starts, it's us. It's leather crafters. Always friendly, always happy, always glad to be there. I need, in fact, I'm going to on my script. I got my script over there just to make notes on. Right at the top of that, next year, don't stress. They're leather crafters. And I got to keep that in mind. But it was a good show for everybody. I like to walk around and talk to people. How's the show going? I think 10 out of 10, show's doing great. This is a hard show for a lot of us to get to. It's in Sheridan, Wyoming. That's a long way from here and from a lot of places. Something that was funny. I'd love to talk to people and say, where'd you come in from? Where are you coming from? And over here on the East Coast, driving 8 or 9 hours, that's a long one. To them, driving 8 or 9 hours, oh, that's just an afternoon drive. It's not an issue. So I like to ask people because I'm just not familiar with the geography out there. I know generally what's where, but times, distances, things like that. A lot of people drove to the show. There were some people that drove 17 and 20 hours to get there. But again, it's a long way for a lot of us crafters. That's kind of an expensive trip, but I'll do my best to kind of talk about it because big building full of leather crafters and vendors, and I see people walking out with leathers. I want one of those. I want one of those. Oh man. Yeah, if I spend $5 more, I always joke, if I spend $5 more, I'm gonna come home, my crap's gonna be in the driveway. Right. Yeah, Jill and Bruce will be waving at me from the window. I think it's a wave. There may be a finger involved, but not really. But that is a building I can wreck a credit card in. So, but anyway, we've got a good giveaway today, one of my favorites, and that is thanks to Miriam. Bless her heart. I emailed her this morning. Yesterday was unpacking. It was a long day Monday. Our flight left at 5:15 in the morning. Oh, man, I had to get up at 2:45, which I consider still part of yesterday, right? What much, just so. Anyway, long day trying to get back, but nonetheless, back and in and on it, and we'll just see what happens today. We'll just see, got some stuff to talk about. Got some tricks and tips, and y'all, everybody. We put out the call, hey, everybody put in your best tricks and tips, flooded with good. I wrote down like 15 tricks and tips. Great ideas, everybody. And also from last time, and again, I want to go through because I missed so many comments. I missed so many. And when I'm going through all the comments this morning, I can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I didn't see that. I can't believe that. Anyway, so Blaine talked about VE Day. We've got Memorial Day coming up where we honor those that have given their life for our country, for us, our families, our spouses, our homes, our pets, our businesses, our way of life. They've given the ultimate sacrifice for that. So we're going to honor them this weekend, but also VE Day. That's one that we need to celebrate. And I've heard talk that we're going to start doing that. So I'm going to keep my fingers. More to come on that, but that is certainly a day that we need to celebrate. So Lane, thank you for bringing that up. Martin Fryer, London as well. Big hello, right back across the pond. It ain't working. It's never. They're not connected, but still today, we'll see. I'm gonna do my best, but still trying to get. The show days are just there because you get up at 7, breakfast at the show by 9, work the booth till about 11:30. I'll break out of the booth, go set up for the class, run over, grab a quick bite to eat, get back to the class, teach until about 4, teach and clean up till about 4, get back to the booth, leave the booth, go eat dinner. From dinner, back to the hotel, quick change, out to whatever social event's going on that night. And there's a social event every night. We saw a movie, debuted a movie. I don't know when this is coming out, but it's called I'm Just a Craftsman. And it's on tooling, specifically the Sheridan style. The Japanese have taken this style, love it, kind of given it their own. Anything the Japanese do is perfect. It's just beautiful. So it's a great movie, great video on us. And so anyway, I'm not sure when that's coming out, but more to come on that. But we got to see I think this is the first cut, the final cut. I think they're going to work on it, fine tune it a little bit. And then I'm not sure where that'll air or be available, but I will certainly let everyone know that because it was beautiful. It was great to watch. So, we have a big event I think it's every Thursday night at the King Museum, King Ropes. They have a museum there. You just got to see it. I mean, it's 2 big rooms and a second floor. Al Stolman's workbench is there. Some of his work is there. There's probably got to be 100 saddles from the 1840s, 50s, 60s. You could put on a horse and ride today. There's big displays of draw gauges and round end punches and oblong punches, and they'll say 1857. Again, you could take that tool, use it today. The funny thing is, same tool we're using today. And some on all those saddles, the little stamp designs, they're absolutely beautiful. They're the same tools we use today. And that's very cool to see all of that. And every square inch has got a gun from the old west. All kinds of rifles, blunderbuss that you could just put anything in and shoot it. So I can't say enough on that. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, I need to jump back over here. There's so much to talk about, but let me do this too. All right, because I've laughed on this one. Who remembers the TV show Hee Haw? Yeah, for those of us that are older, it was a Saturday night staple. So we've got someone on named BR. What is it? BR549, right? Junior samples. Um, yeah. Okay. So I was mentioning um cables. They've got their cables, their work table on cables, and I'll have to go back and reread it so they can raise or lower. Very creative idea on that. Mamaw's Life. Got a kid of cheap stuff. I'm so sorry to hear it happens. It happens. At Weaver, when I first started, we were looking at stamp tools, and they gave me one, and I was like, this feels odd. Bend it, and sure enough, literally with hand pressure, I could bend that tool in a curve. This happens, but not at Weaver. My point there is go with legitimate companies like Weaver. We're not going to do that to you. But also on the kits, I've never pushed kits where I was previously. I didn't push kits because I want somebody to like somebody comes in and wants to start making holsters. Little squares and stupid little stuff. They're spending their money on fluff. Let's put that dollar towards something that's going to help us out. So the point here is that at Weaver, I got to help build a lot of the kits. No fluff. There's stuff in there that you are absolutely going to use, and they're going to be quality products. Absolutely. So I've kind of changed my opinion on the kits a little bit. If you buy one from Weaver, there's no fluff in there. You're buying what you're going to use on your projects, period. So I know we get stuff online. I've done it. Cheap crap. Doesn't help. So anyway, I'm sorry about that. Stall Rev got the scissors. Won the Ginger scissors. Let's see. I don't know who types this stuff. Anyway, sounds like they're working those Gingers. And they'll take off a finger, maybe an arm. We got to be careful. Clip both hands. Like I like the 8-inch too. They're the Leathercraft scissors. They've got the red. We've probably seen them in the videos, but they're super long, which I like because we can get down in a pouch safe. We got to, trim the end of some thread down in the pouch. We got to clip it after some. Love those, and they're sharp as they can be. The downside is when I've been trying to just clip thread, pulling it off the sewing machine, I clipped into my finger. Got to be careful there. But anyway, so let me keep going here because there's so much to squeeze into this hour, and I'm still coming off the show. We keep moving. And I'm trying. Let's back up. Let's relax. Let's enjoy this because it's a great day to work on leather. And if we can't work on leather, it's a great day to talk about working on leather. I hope everybody's got something good on your table. I'm kind of between going to try to start a video. Got a good idea. Oddly enough, it's something that I have, and I'm like most of us, I get the guinea pig piece, the craft fail. That's the one I get and use. Really? Right? Really? Can I not take the time to make a nice one that I can use? Yeah, no, because I'm going to give that one away. Right? So I'm going to make a video on something that I need and have needed for a year because I lost mine. Probably not lost, but anyway, hopefully that'll be a good video, but doing my best to come up with some good ideas. Saw some phenomenal work at the show because they have what's called the leather debut. That it's a contest, and I put some armor in it a couple of years back. I got to put something in that next year. I got to. I want to do a suit. I don't know. That's a lot anyway. The point is, I got 5 minutes in there between lunch and class. Got in, looked around. The stuff in there it makes me want to get better or give up. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can excel at stamp collecting or right. So The work was just phenomenal. I'll do my best. We did a video 2 years back, I think, of all the winners. 33:15. I'm not even close. Anyway, we'll come back to some of this. But anyway, Tina from Oklahoma, I hope you're back with us. Pierre Rousseau, South Africa, honored that you are with us. Let's see, Spastic Geeks got a new work table, 3 foot by 8 foot. So it started with a 4 by 8 foot, a little too big. I've got the 3 by 8 foot. I tend to like those a little bit better. Little less room. A foot doesn't seem like it makes a big difference. Oh, 1 foot makes a big difference in our shop. On Milady thrift stores, got a bridle with beautiful conchos, $8. Yeah, those conchos would probably be $8 a piece. And one more, I mentioned this, the shop tricks. I said, everybody, what's a great shop trick? Maybe for the new folks, for everybody, inundated with fantastic shop tricks. The point here, thank you, everyone, for pitching in your great advice, great tricks, great tips. That's what this is about. That's the heart of what this should be about. So, all right. Let's jump over to page 2 and Bruce. Bruce is enthralled with the printer. He's sure that there's something in there spitting this paper out. He just can't figure out how to get in there. Anyway, so on our giveaway, contiguous US only, because this one's coming from Weaver. But it's one of my favorites. All right, so Suede. Yeah, pick your color. Okay. So the keyword here, the entry word is Suede, Suede. And I've been spelling that word for 40 years. I still looked at it and thought, is that right? Suede. So put in Suede. So you're going to get a split of your choice, the color of your choice. I mean, oh, look at these. This has to be one of my favorites, the purple. And I doubt the camera is going to do it any justice. Oh, it's just so pretty. Another one. Oh, the turquoise is just gorgeous. One of my favorites. I think we've got 30 colors of suede. And I will tell you, I think we've got the prettiest suedes in the business. This rust, oddly, it didn't start out as one of my favorites. It's a rust, standard color. We've always had I tell you what, this just pops. Like if we're going to use a dye color like the Pro Dye, we're going to do the saddle tan or the light brown. That's almost a perfect match. But also for the darker browns like the walnut, the chocolate, the dark, this is a perfect contrast, and it's just such a rich, beautiful color. Oh, the blue. I tend to call it the electric blue, but it's really technically it's the royal blue. Absolutely beautiful. Purples, burgundies. There's so many. I know. I want one of each. So anyway, the keyword again, Suede. And then we'll tell you here in a little bit, Sweet Miriam, she's going to pick a winner. And then we'll fill you on everything. I just need it at this point to mention contiguous US only. So anyway, going to give away a really pretty piece of suede. Now, one quick point, and this actually, let's go here because I wanted to mention this. Yeah. Okay. What is something that tripped you up in the beginning? I mean, there's all kinds of things, and this is again for the new folks, the folks that are new or wanting to jump in the craft. What's one of the things that tripped you up in the beginning? One of the low level ones for me was a V cut. I didn't look at the V cuts because I don't know what a V cut is. It's just a double shoulder, veg tan double shoulder. It comes from a Brahma. They got that big hump. So there's a V on one side of these. It's just a veg tan. That's all it is. But it's a great buy for us crafters because I think, and I should have checked on this, but I think it's a per piece price as opposed to a per foot price. They're huge. It's coming from a Brahma, right? These are enormous pieces of leather. They've got a good price on them. When we boil that down, if we take that per piece price, we flip that hide over, on the back, you're going to get a foot stamp. That tells us how big. So let's say whatever we get's a 15 foot. It's going to have a 15 and then a 1, 2, or 3. So that's 15 and a quarter or a half or 3/4 feet. That's that 1, 2, or 3. That's what that means. But if you take that V cut, Take that cost, divide by the footage. You're going to be very happy with that. Yeah, it's a good buy for us leather crafters. But something else. Here's the one that gave me a bit of a headache in the beginning. Suede. It's called a split. I had no idea what that meant. It is simply this. At the tannery, they're going to take a hide and they're going to literally skive that horizontally. So that's how they're going to work with different weights. They can take a thicker hide and work it down. We've got skivers. We know what they do. But at the tannery, they're going to skive a side or a hide. The piece that comes off the top, that's our top grain. The piece that comes off the bottom, that's our suede. It's literally split. The hide is split. So that's why suedes are typically called splits. Now, the downside to this is the top grain. That's where all our strength is. So when they split that out, the suede, it's not going to have a lot of strength. It's not that big of an issue, mainly because the suede, what we're using it for, we don't need a lot of strength with that. But also, the suede, I think these are bends. They're not great for cutting lace. It's not going to be a very strong lace. It's not terrible, but it's not very strong. If we want a suede lace, we need to buy that on the spool because it's processed a little bit differently, and it's going to be a lot stronger than if we simply cut our suede from our bin there. But anyway, some of the prettiest colors I have ever seen. Here's another one. All right, for me, and everybody put in what tripped you up at the beginning, and I'll talk a little bit because I need to get back over here. Dip dyeing. I dip dye, and I don't know how many folks dip dyed back in the day, but when I had a small business, I had I had a customer that sold the costume stuff. So this is what's called a rapier carrier. If you think about the Three Musketeers, that era, very flamboyant costuming, clothing to them, right? So a rapier carrier held a rapier. Typically, yeah, right. Anyway, I made 9-buckle rapier carriers for these folks, and they would order 36 at a time. Okay, here's the problem. So on the 9-buckle, I've got 9 tongue and 9 buckle billets. So for 36 of those, that's 300 of just the tongue. That's 300 of just the buckle. So the point is, for that order, I have to dye 700 of these little billets. Well, when I started out, I was dyeing these one at a time. It took like 4 hours to get all these pieces dyed. And I actually remember in my garage, I had some boards and I put little like not framing or panel nails in it. So I'd hang each one of these up. I can't believe how long that took me. So I think I must have dropped one in there and forgot about it, pulled it out, laid it aside, went, hey, wait a minute. That actually dyed pretty well. So I went to whatever big retail store. I bought the baskets, like they're white metal baskets, maybe got the rubber on them, put a handle on that. Then I'd put like 50 of those in, dip it. I bought a big bin, filled it with dye. I dip it, shake it a little bit, pull it out, let that excess dry drip off, and then just pour it out on the paper, like our wrapping paper that are shipping. If you buy a piece of leather, it comes wrapped in a piece of paper. So I just dumped that out, and I'd lay it out, so I could dye 700 pieces in like 20 minutes with dip dyeing. So I experimented with some colors, and it was just beautiful, and it was clean, and it was easy. Dip dye, I had, like, my bin was on 2 big pallets, and under them some plastic trash bags or tarp. This was a long time ago. But anyway, I had like some mop handles or just some dowels hanging up over my dye area so I could run something through the dye, hang it up, walk away. I literally dyed a piece in about 4 seconds, and I walk away. It hangs there, dries, ready to go. Whenever I'm ready, it's ready. So that's where the dip dyeing came from. Now, I've seen a lot of folks that are brand new. They'll dye something, go, look, I made it just like, it looks just like wood. That's not what we're trying to do. We want our dye consistent. And we'll actually get to a point where we're proud of the consistency of our dye. Perfect example right here. I just happen to have this out. I thought this would be a good example. Even when we wet form, but notice on my pocket, that dye is perfectly consistent and all over the full briefcase. That's a piece of veg tan that I dyed. So dip dyeing makes dyeing so very easy. But if we use the pro dye, now, the other dyes with the basic alcohol, I believe will work But I switched over to the Pro because I was using this just your basic leather dye, but it was all the browns were coming out with kind of a yellowish or reddish tint. And I wasn't real happy about it. I wanted a good earth tone brown. So I went to the leather factory in Chattanooga. Ron, I can remember everybody that worked there. And still to this day, they were so great. He said, well, why don't you try the Pro Dye? Have never turned back because it's consistent. Our colors are earth tones. Our browns are nice earth tones. We can dip dye. It's perfectly consistent. It solved all my problems. It really did. So I've gone to the Pro Dye, dip dyeing. I've never gone back because it's so easy to do. And the cleanup with the dip dyeing. I mean, I try to keep all my dye in the original bottle. So little 50-cent funnel. We can pour that back in the bottle, tighten that up. Our dye's great for a long, long time. If we use Tupperware, I might put some cellophane over it, then click it on. The problem is as that alcohol, the carrier evaporates, that dye gets thicker and thicker and darker, and it will hang in that leather, and it's a mess. But if we keep that in the original bottle, put that cap on it, it's great for a long. I've probably got dye over there that's years old. I can still use it. But when we clean out our little dye bin, one paper towel, and we're done cleaning up. And we got dye on nothing but our project. I like to lay out that paper, but our bin ready to go again whenever we're ready. And those little bins are cheap. Yeah, we can get those most anywhere. I've got them all the way down, but I've also got one. We've seen these bins like at the big retail stores. They're only about that deep, but they're good and wide. Perfect for the big projects. Now, it's a little scary trying to get that big bin to get that dye back in the bottle, but we can do it. We can do it. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up. So anybody, the things that may have tripped you up in the beginning, drop it in because that's going to help somebody come up to speed that, and I've said this before, tricks and tips. I know a nose all of a sudden inches. Anyway, the tricks and tips, how many things would have helped us in the beginning to a point where somebody may be frustrated enough to walk away? That's the worst thing that could happen. When actually it could be something as simple as filling them in on double cap rivets. I started with those. Okay, I'm not gonna pop rivets. You all what am because I found them at the grocery store or at the hardware store, right? You get the tool, you get a little double cap rivets. 99% of the rivets I use are double cap. Little things like that can help somebody that's new to the craft come up to speed and maybe miss that simple mistake that is so frustrating. Actually, it's got a super easy answer, but to them, they don't know that. It's so frustrating, they walk away from the craft. We don't want that to happen because we're leather, and I saw this at the show. We can't help but talk about how much we love our craft and the things we can make and the things that we can do with it. All the new folks, they're going to experience that. And we're so happy for them to do that. It's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because I get excited about it. Excuse me. There we go. I know I sometimes sound like a salesman. Sort of, yes. On one side, I got a lot of background in sales, but it's not sales. If I can do this, anybody can do this and do a great job of it and just go as far as you want to, all the way up to tooling beautiful saddles. If that's where you want to go, or if you just want to stick with smaller, you know what? We're going to love whatever we do, and everybody around us is going to love it too. So I talk to a lot of wives. Yeah. And husbands. And I don't want to leave the husbands out. The wife or a husband of a crafter. And I always ask them, like, well, you get some good, and they're like, oh, and they always hold up the project that their husband or wife made them. Absolute pride. It's so very funny and also, this is something where our booth is kind of up front next to one of the big entrances. I see somebody's project before I see them. That's that right. Somebody walks in with a really pretty briefcase or purse I saw some of the prettiest person back. Anyway, I almost see that first. And then I'll look, oh, hey, it's you. Right. It's a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. Oh, I'm just seeing so many great comments come through here. Y'all, I hope everybody's doing good. I'm just waxing on, just waxing on. And so anyway, if you got something that tripped you up in the beginning, that's where I was going with all this. If you got something that tripped you up in the beginning, list it right here. You may save somebody a big headache. That's where I was going with that. All right, let's do this. Let's get back over here. One more thing. For everybody at the show that I got to meet and say hello to, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and say hello. And I apologize that we didn't have more time to talk and visit. Blue Rose Lion. Got to meet Blue Rose Lion out there. I know I'm trying to, there's so much I'm so sorry we didn't get a chance to visit, but I hope you got home safe. I hope everybody got home safe and sound and had a great show. I've texting a lot of folks. Everybody seems to be home by now, safe and sound. So that's what counts. That's what counts. All right. So I'm going to go backwards here because I see these just flying by. Anyway, okay, Suede. I'm so happy that's a good giveaway. I'm so happy. Miriam really came up with a good one. Okay, Jerry King. Yeah, we've got the tattooing machine. Dennis, the inventor, he was there, had his own table, had a lot of people around it, got some good interest going there. But I want to make this note. It's not a replacement to tooling. It's another technique in our toolbox. He did some pretty stuff with it. I got one. Can we see it? Yeah, I have to do that because this doesn't work. Anyway, we're going to do that. I'm going to be up there next week and we're going to talk more about that, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And Dennis really did some pretty work with it. So anyway, yeah, we'll have more on that to come. Brian Moreland. Well, it's good to see your name pop up, and it was good to meet you. Absolutely. And I apologize too because I met so many people. Hard to remember everybody and all the names and whatnot. Doesn't matter. Appreciate you taking the time to say hello. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see, Carrie. Fear of failure. No kidding. Thank you for putting that up, Carrie. You're exactly right. So I had a hard time starting a project. All right, so I had to learn A, start the project. B, mess up. C, learn something. D, repeat. Carrie, I think that's about it's the best comment I think I've seen. You're exactly right. Dive in. And I feel like I can't say it loud enough or often enough. You're not going to believe what you can do with no skill and a few simple tools. Work up from there. But get started, work up from there, dive in. Carrie, you're exactly right. Okay, Don Lapham, I'm taking a class next week on using the tattooing machine. Lets me use it without committing to buying. Very nice. We've got our big anniversary next weekend. Next week, it's Thursday and Friday. I'll mention more about that. Bob Salter. Oh, and I did mention Suede. Nice. Okay, Evangeline, can you do some women's wallets, double wide, maybe a 2 to 3 part series? Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, taking the time to write down your name and your idea because I swear, I don't have it. The script from last time I had 4 notes. Check this comment. Check this towards the end. I can't find them. Cannot find them now. Anyway, thank you for that. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Evangeline, been making leather stuff about a year. Nice. Just recently used veg tan. Tripped me up. My first job was a sporon. I hand dyed it. Was beautiful. And a picture got me another order. Really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. For so many reasons. Hey, you loved it. You made something beautiful. Somebody else loves it so much, they want to order one. Yeah, very cool. Uh, okay, Don. Don, let's see. What tripped me up was my stitching, getting my holes in a straight line, then sewing correctly for consistent appearance. You're exactly, it'll really affect the look. That Don, you're exactly right. That's why I love the chisels, because that stitch line is absolutely beautiful and straight and clean. I love consistency. That pretty clean, straight stitch line. Don, you're exactly right. Chisels will take care of that. There's other ways to go there. We've got what's called a spacer wheel, and it comes in different stitch lengths. It looks like it's a handle, looks like an edger, but it's got a little arm with what looks like a spur, right? Um, and as you roll that along, it'll mark where you want to drop in that stitch. Like, say, if we're going to do a thick holster or a knife sheath, we've got a big, thick welt in that. Chisel's going to be a headache. Absolutely. Not so much getting it through, but getting that thing back out without reaming that hole open. What a headache. Drill press or Dremel will work. But that way, that spacer wheel will show us exactly where that stitch needs to land. And that makes it very easy as well. But great. Thank you for bringing that up. Uh, Don, yeah, 3 hours away, so he can drive there for the makers event. Uh, oh no, David Rooney, thank you again. All these little tricks and tips that are going to help the new folks out. Hallelujah. I used some Tupperware to store pro dye, and it dissolved the dissolved the container overnight. Oh, thankfully I had the container in a Ziploc bag as well. Man, in the morning I had a Ziploc full of gel like dye. Oh man, what a mess that is. Um, But again, a good tip, try to keep it in the original bottle. You'll never go wrong. You'll never, and those bottles are they're pretty durable. I've dropped some, and I don't think I've had a bad spill from one of those bottles breaking. I don't think I have. My spills come from when the bottle's open. And that's, open dye on the table. Be careful, be careful. And in the class, we have to put out little I just use the pattern sheeting, put a little white glue on that because we're going to glue pieces onto a board. It's the first thing I say. Go and put your elbow in it, then let's move on, right? Open glue on the table. Right here. Anyway. Okay, yeah, Don poured it back in. Oh, these are coming. Y'all just. Okay. Is that Jorge Harada? Please forgive me, or is it George? Please, I'm sorry. I hate mispronouncing someone's name. I want to set spots and Swarovski dome jewels on a belt to make one like the novelty belts from the 50s. I know exactly what you're talking about. I do. Um, yes. So we have what's called the Little Wonder. Yeah, there we go. That little thing will set just about everything we carry. It's got a throat and an anvil, and it just sets it so clean. Now, I don't know if you can see there, but it's got a little wheel right under the arm so that you can raise or lower the anvil as you bring it down, as it comes to a stop. So it's super easy to get the right depth for eyelets or double caps or rivets or tubular rivets. But also, before that gets there, and it's the best way to go. I set my rivets with that because I know the biggest thing with double caps is them going offset, right? If you've got a rivet that's a little too long, when you try to set that by hand, it's going to offset. Nope, that is straight. That's a straight up and down action. It's not going to happen. But where I'm going with this is before you get there, what you can do, take 2 pieces of 8 to 9 veg, glue those together, contact cement those together, and then soak them. Get them good and wet. Set one crystal or one domed rivet or whatever you've got. Set one on that good and hard. That's going to push that down into that leather. You're actually going to create your own anvil. So when that dries, one of the biggest problems with the dome rivets is trying to set those because they want to roll around. It's not going to happen when you've got that. You actually have an anvil that's made for that specific size or type of rivet. You're going to set that. You're going to nail it every time. But again, the Little Wonder, best way to go because that sets so many different things that we sell. But great question, and thank you for asking that one. Uh, Brian Hudson went to a kitchen supply store and picked up some bottles used for oil vinegar. It's a little smaller than the quart bottles, works perfectly. Great call there. Great call there. There's one, there used to be a kitchen supply and fixture store not far. It was a block or two from where I used to work. They have that, the poly board, the cutting board. They have that in 4 by 8 foot sheets, and they have it in two different thicknesses, half inch and 3/4 inch. I think. Always wanted to buy a 3 by 8 foot to put that. Just think your whole cutting table is a cutting board. How cool would that? It was a great idea until I found out it's like 15 bucks a foot. And then it's like, okay, well, that shot that idea right out of the water. But the point is, they'll cut pieces out of that, whatever size you want. If you want a 1 by 3 foot piece or 2 by 5, they'll cut it for you, and you're only going to pay for that square footage. But I've always wanted to do that. Just buy one big 3 by 8 foot piece, put it on my table. My whole table is a cutting surface that's going to last forever. So good point there, Brian. Funny where all of these cool little tricks come from, and it's something that I've always thought of. It's a great thought because a lot of us, we don't work in leather. A lot of us crafters, we have day jobs. But the funny thing is, how many things from that day job could transfer over to a great leather craft trick, right? I worked in printing. Growing up, my aunt and uncle owned a print finishing. They put on the top coats and they folded the boxes into shape when they came from the printer. So I worked for them for a little while, and I came up with all kinds of cool little ideas that I could transfer over. I can't remember them right now. I just thought about that, and I'm hard pressed to remember the stuff that I brought over. But coming out of an art, a company that deals in art and printing, and it was a couple of different things worked over. I'd have to think about it. But there are things at our jobs that very well we don't think about, but could transfer over to the leathercraft industry very nicely. So if you're at work, look around and think about printers. Everybody's got a printer. Now, when I was coming up, there were no printers. There were mimeograph. You remember those? Because you pass out the test in class, and the first thing everybody do is smell it, right? Yeah, but our printers now, we can increase, we can decrease with the software. There's all kinds of great ways to go. Almost like the old way, because you had to be creative. Yeah, now you just pushing buttons, blah, blah, right? Yeah. So anyway, Solus, while you're at the restaurant supply store, this is hilarious, and you are looking for containers to dip dye in, plastic hotel pans are really inexpensive and pretty durable. I'm going to go to a restaurant supply store tomorrow. That's enough. That's enough. I'm going to have to go tomorrow and just see what they've got. They also come in different sizes depending on the size of the project. I use half pans for dip dyeing belts. Excellent. They're the Artsy Pixie. Thank you, first off, for being here. But, y'all, these are great. Michigan Custom Craftworks. Well, hello right back to you. Y'all, let me just say this right now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. I hope it's worth your time. I hope it's interesting, worth your time. I was going to say, I hope you get some good tricks and tips. Yeah, I think that's in the rear view. Absolutely. But y'all, thank you for being here. It means more than you know, because y'all make this. That's my job here, drive the bus. Y'all party in the back, right? I'll try to keep us between the lines. We've met, right? So that's probably not sure, Chuck. We'll keep that in mind. Right. So anyway, Mike B. Here's one of the cool things about our craft. Just finished 19 keychains based off the wrist straps video for my daughter's softball team headed to state this week. How cool is that? How cool is it that we have a craft that we can do things like that. How cool is that? Right. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I made some keychain bookmarks for my mom. Must Ministries. Um, oh crap! I just wasted a half an hour. I haven't even looked at this. Yeah, getting me to talk about leather isn't really hard. The trick's getting me to shut up. Right. So, anyway, okay, it's time to pick a winner for our Suede. Let me get back over here. For some reason, I got some kind of a mental block here, and I can't ever remember any of this stuff. I just don't want to give anybody bad information. I think that's my biggest point here. Okay, so let's see if Miriam has got us a winner yet. Not just yet. I'm going to set that right there. We'll see if Miriam's got a winner for us. I bet right now she's going, because they're just swamped. They're always swamped at the mothership. Don laughing. That was a look of deep and abiding regret when that did I look that down. Oh, jeez. Anyway, Nan Parsons, bless your heart. Means more than you know. It really does. Oh yeah, Michigan Custom Craft Works, Johnny Cash. Yeah, I like some good Johnny Cash. Which is odd because my favorite music is progressive rock from the 70s. Genesis, Floyd, Supertramp. Yeah, so but I love some Johnny Cash. Oh man, yeah. Uh okay, Appa. First off, thanks for being with us, Appa. Good to see your name pop up. What's the best way and veg tan for a straight razor strop? Oh, I would say 8 to 9 ounce, but a 6 to 7, maybe even 4 to 5, if it's a shorter strop, might be fine. I tend to go with 8 to 9 ounce, and that seems to be what when we do the blade show. I'm still waiting. When we do the blade show, that's the majority of a lot of those guys. The blacksmiths, that's the weight they seem to like for a good strop for their knives. Um, and that's a good weight. I mean, it's a standard belt weight, 8 to 9 ounce, so very common. And we typically have that in our shop. So we're waiting. We're waiting. Miriam will get it here in just a minute, but it got here. She's probably thinking the same thing. God, I get to be 3:45 so fast. Oh man, spastic geek business front party in the back. The mullet. I had a mullet. Who didn't? Yeah, it's a good look. 20 years ago, 30. How many years ago? I don't even want to talk about that. Oh man, starting to feel my age. Okay. All right, so we're gonna give it 2 more minutes and see if Miriam gets us a winner there. And if not, I'm just gonna scroll back and I'm gonna pick one. How about that? How about that? All right, so let's see. Let's work our way down. Don, same thing. Bless your heart. Thank you for that comment. Not a waste of time. Thank you. Oh, let's see. Hey, Rashi. Love you, Miriam, and the whole Weaver fam. Absolutely. I joke about, and I won't name any names here, but for the longest time, I joked about coming to Weaver. I left the company where nobody was happy, went to a company where everybody's happy, and it freaked me out just a little bit. I don't know what that noise was. Did you hear that? Because I don't think Bruce is down here. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's keep that page right there. What I'm going to do, I think Miriam there's no telling, bless her heart, she might just be away. A meeting might have popped up. So I'm just going to back all the way up here. How about Tracy Kinney? Tracy, congratulations on a piece of suede. You're going to pick the color. So let's see, Tracy, let's do this. What you're going to do is email us at supplyinfo at weaverbrands.com. We're going to need your name, address, and your phone number. We need the phone number just in case. Now that we've had one that I just didn't, it's probably me. We've met. I didn't put in all the correct information or missed an apartment number or something. So we just drop your phone number in there. Oh, it is Bruce. Okay. My shop's not haunted because I'd have to leave right now and never come back. All right. So just name, address, and phone number to supply info at Weaver Brands. Tracy Kinney, let me write that down. And Tracy, go through the website. Pick a pretty color. It's going to be hard to do. I know there's so many that are just gorgeous. I'm going to send you a pretty piece of suede. I hope you love it. The suedes are one of my favorite leathers because I love the filigree. And I don't really have, I don't have anything in the hand. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, filigree cut. We can tool, stamp, whatever, and then we're going to cut through that, bring another leather up behind that. It's one of my all-time favorite techniques because now we can bring in a secondary color and texture. We can match our texture or color, or we can do a contrast to both. And the suede, because there's so many pretty colors. I've got a pseudo armor over there that's just beautiful. We've looked at it somewhere along the way. I hate to bring something up and then us not look at it, but it'd take me 20 minutes to get over there and drag that damn thing over. Probably knock over the camera, the lighting. It would be a typical day in my shop. But anyway, all right. So Tracy Kinney, congratulations. Thanks for joining us on the live. And thanks everybody for being here. Y'all make this what it is. It's just not me talking, yapping, and all the great tricks and tips. And up next time, we're going to find something too that's going to help the newer folks out, or maybe help all of us out. I'll come up with something. I'll come up with a good question that gives us an opportunity to toss out some tricks and tips and help for all the rest of us. Because you toss that out there, and I mean, just how many people are going to see it here? And then when they view this later after the live, how many people are going to see that? We don't know how many people, just one little trick or tip that we discovered, there's no telling how many people that's going to help out. And again, another win to the whole thing. Leathercraft is it's like 5 wins in a row. Love decorating. Actually, that's the hardest part for me. And it's because there's so many there's so many possibilities. The leather, the prints, the weights, dye colors, antiques, paints, hardware. We're going to wet form tool, stamp, carve it. What are we going to carve? The stamp. There's 5 million possibilities if we combine 5 stamps. Crap. That's the hardest part for me. But then when I settle on it, right? I love making it, love designing it, love making it, love seeing it come out. How'd it come out? I love it. And then other people seeing it and go, wow, you made that. And just that's nice. I mean, we don't want to say that out loud, but that's cool, isn't it? Yeah. So it's just one win. And the keychains for a softball team or bowling or coworkers or church groups, bike groups, family, friends. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of why I like leatherwork. I'm not real excited about it, or anything like that. So we'll move on. Right, so anyway, got to say, okay. All right, let's do this because I got to keep a job, even though it cuts right into the middle of my day. I'm just going through notes and notes and notes. Some stuff we just didn't get to. Okay, I hit snooze and not stop. But anyway, all right. So notes from the boss. Again, I want to push this because next weekend we've got our makers event, retail store anniversary opening. It's Thursday and Friday of next week. All right. So we've got some of these are dated. Some of these are, but the point is we're going to have food trucks out there, going to have a big discount for coming into the store. I'm teaching classes. Dennis is teaching classes. There's going to be a bunch of people there. We're going to have a big tent outside, plant tours, get to tour the plant, which is cool for us crafters. For those of us that can't make it, we're gonna do a kind of a plant tour, see some of the equipment that's used, because that's cool for us crafters to see a lot of that. I'm gonna try to may not shoot the video this time because it's kind of an up and back, but that's coming up because that's I let's look at some of the stuff that just does bigger than we do, right? Yeah, right. Like big double-headed clickers. I know. Anyway, um, okay, here's one because I had to do a double take on this one. Shaheen holster leather sale starts tomorrow. Holster leather. This is a pre-dyed veg tan. We don't have to dye it. And yes, it will stamp, it will carve, it will wet form, and it will take a beautiful top coat. Oh, and paint and antique. Absolutely. The trick there, it doesn't have to be dyed. And it's a Shaheen. I mean, this is just, I love the sheen. For carving, it almost tools itself, right? Anyway, it's gorgeous. And we have a new color. It's a dark brown. It's a gorgeous. There's a video coming up where we look at it. I don't know if it's already aired or not. I'm so out of whack. I've been out of town for a week. I don't know what's going on. Well, what's new? Right. Anyway, anyway, and we've also got a Memorial Day sale that starts on Friday. Don't miss it. Just check our website, social media. You'll find the sale. Crafters to get that tool or that leather. Kind of been thinking about it's a little expensive, a little bit over the budget. I'm a crafter too. Absolutely. Always have been. I work for Weaver. I can get anything in here I want, but still, and I really try to not take advantage of that. If I'm not getting some, I'm not going to use. But I'm a crafter. The budget is everything. For a lot of us, profit, not the motivation. It's the joy of the craft. That's so if we can save a little money, say we can get a piece of dye and a bottle of dye for the same price, score, right? Score for us. So we got that going on. The tool or leather of the week are beautiful suedes because I just love them. Absolutely love them. Let's see what I can get. We got 3 minutes left here. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. I wanted to mention that. And I hope y'all made some beautiful stuff for your mom. I say that I didn't. I've run out of ideas, but y'all had some great ideas. I just kind of ran out of time. But my mom just loves something off the grill. They don't grill. They don't grill. So whenever picked them up, brought mom and dad back over here to our house, grilled some burgers and had some good beans and fries. And we had time to sit and visit. And that's one of the best things. It's getting so hard. It feels like it's getting hard to just simply sit and visit for a while with loved ones and friends and family and neighbors and coworkers. But anyway, and then the reason I bring that up is because Father's Day, not far off. Yeah. So it's time to start thinking about a project for Father's Day. And my dad, on the other hand, is always saying, Chuck, I could really use one of these. Or I just made two like real nice, I wouldn't say business belts. What's the word I'm trying to dress belts? Dress belts. I made them a black and a brown. They came out beautifully. So that's on the list to do a video. Round purse. We got to do one of those because those are real popular right now. Okay, I'm not going to get any I better not get into a rant now because I only got 2 minutes. And again, yeah, I think I went on a 30-minute rant today and that clock just spun up, didn't it? All right. So, all right, let me get back down here. I just I saw it and I'll never get back to it. A bit artsy prixy, got good, y'all. Everybody, great comments. No, I just saw somebody. Let's pull up a throwback picture of any of us with a mullet. Right. Does anybody remember the big the big square shoulder era, the 80s, not really the 90s, but the 80s. My wife and I talked about, love the 80s. The music, the fashion, it's a little dated now, but back then, right? But back then, anyway. So we're going to wrap it up today. Y'all, again, I hope it's been worth your time. Hope you got something out of this today. And Tracy, congratulations on that. Email us. We'll get that right out to you. Thanks, everybody, for pitching in, for jumping in, for commenting. great tricks and tips and comments. We got to do this one again. The things that would help the newer folks out. I'm missing all of these. I missed all of them. There's so many of these that go by so fast, but thank you for that. Thank you for that. Y'all, I hope you have a good 2 weeks. I hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend. We'll come back in 2 weeks. We'll get together. We'll do our best here to have some great stuff, a good giveaway, some fun stuff to talk about. Y'all, I hope everybody has a good afternoon, a great evening, a good weekend, and I'm just going to look forward to doing this again. Bless each and every one of you. God bless you. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all. Oh, what